Hi, I'm going to give you a little bit of feedback from the discussion which we had in the class last week. Let's look at your feedback. So here we are, the discussion of the problem of class management. Somebody said this problem is similar to us and it's relevant to us. And the next person said, I think question number two, should classes be divided into proficiency levels? Depends on the subject. Low-level students can't talk to each other in English because they don't have enough vocabulary. And when teachers teach grammar, the class should be divided by proficiency levels. So it sounded like this person thinks dividing is a good idea, but maybe for something like sport, dividing isn't necessary. Next person says, there were many questions which changed opinion depending on the person. So this was a good question for discussion. That's a really important point. When you are creating the worksheet, think about things which not everybody is going to have the same opinion about, because that helps to make a more interesting discussion. I experienced the class that was divided into proficiency levels, most classes until now. I think as the teacher of the class which is divided like this, you have to predict the learning outcome and influences on the students. So this person is saying, as the teacher, maybe dividing the levels is efficient if you want to target the goals, especially academic goals. Here's the person who actually had that topic. I enjoyed discussing my topic. I was surprised by one group opinion. They said we should not divide students into levels. After I heard this, I changed my opinion. And I remembered when I was in a low-level class, I felt sad. Therefore, I thought both opinions have some merit, and it's worthwhile considering both ways. I think that was very deep and interesting reflection by the person who actually thought of this topic. And it's really great if you can be persuaded, allow yourself to be persuaded about the other person's opinion. So I think that shows that you're learning a lot from each other and listening and thinking about what you discuss. School lunchtime, it was so interesting and the questions were good to understand easier. I joined the school trial visit and the lunchtime was too short when I went to junior high school. I think we should enjoy talking with our friends during the lunchtime. For example, this soup tastes good, so 1 hour is appropriate. And I think, yeah, this person, they identified an important point, which is that lunchtime is also the time when kids are learning social learning. They're learning how to be a member of society. So it's not only about eating, and therefore maybe it's worth a bit more time. Third person says these questions were fantastic because I like lunchtime in school. Doesn't everybody like eating? I need 30 minutes because elementary school students don't eat fast, so they must have enough time. Well, some of us might say, yeah, you might need even more than 30 minutes. I think it is important to think about the grade of school because elementary and junior high have a break after the lunchtime. So they have a playtime for running about outdoors, so they can talk to their friends at that time. But senior school has a break included in the lunchtime, so they need at least 1 hour. And the last person says, I think as students get more grown up, they can be more independent and they should be allowed to control the time a bit more themselves. So seniors can have a longer lunchtime. And one more topic. I think I've gone back. I jumped over LGBTQ and gender diversity. I think this topic was a bit controversial and I wanted to narrow down the topic among gender diversity issues. For example, uniform or bathroom for all genders. I think this person has a good point if we talk about something like, do you think that girls should be allowed to wear trousers? It's probably easy to discuss. Number two, I think confidence is more important than grammar. So if we discuss the issue, don't worry about the grammar. I think that's a very important and good point. This topic was focused on in sociology class, but not in the teaching class much. And lastly, I was impressed when someone said, the teacher can lead students to discuss any issues they are worried about, by starting from what actually happens in class. So if the situation comes up, then the teacher can talk about it based on what the students experienced in the actual class. So if, for example, there's somebody who's like a girl who's wearing trousers, and the other girls say, "Why aren't you wearing a skirt?" Then maybe the teacher can lead the students to talk about that and say, "Hey, isn't it okay?" Uh, and so that was a very good point. Maybe if the kids are not particularly worried about gender diversity issues, then it's not the time. They don't need to talk about it at that time. So it's a question of case by case. Let's go back to the front page. And so well done, everybody. I'm looking forward to seeing what you come up with next time. Thanks for listening. And if you have any questions, then you can let me know. I'm going to end my meeting and my video.